Hello, Christian World Mission folks. I wanted to start my short video introduction by introducing you to another member of my family. This is my dog, Sammy. We got him just a couple of days after we came here to Oregon, and he's in this room, and I thought I would introduce you so in case you hear a jingle from him, you know who that is. And now, so you won't be totally distracted by him, I'll get him off my lap. We're going to be talking about short-term mission this week, and I wanted to share with you just a couple of books that are not the Livermore text that you'll be working with and reading and writing a book review worksheet in the coming week. Short-term mission, an ethnography of Christian travel, narrative, and experience. If you've already read the Livermore text, which I realize is possible, this might be one that you look at. It's written by an anthropologist at Wheaton College, where he does an in-depth study of how a youth group worked in its short-term mission trip, what it was like, and really analyzing the interactions cross-culturally that they had, as well as how it affected the participants of a suburban Chicago, pretty large church, maybe not a megachurch. The other book is by Anthony Gittins. You already read one chapter out of this. Ministry at the Margins. Again, Gittins is another anthropologist from the Roman Catholic Church. And what this book is something that was written for people in Presbyterian, Lutheran, and I believe Episcopalian denominations who are going on somewhat longer short-term mission trips, 6 months to 18 months, and in most people's minds that actually does not count as short-term mission trips, but nonetheless they were reasonably short-term, and this is a book that he wrote in order to do some serious cross-cultural education about what the kinds of things that they need to know in order to be effective as short-term missionaries from those different traditions. Short-term mission has been described by some missiologists as the most dramatic change, most dramatic trend in the field of mission, at least from a North American perspective, from the last 25 years. And they might be right about that. We could quibble about things if we want, but there is no question that the short-term mission trip phenomenon is massive. In terms of the resources being expended in short-term mission trips, and in terms of the people involved in short-term mission trips. There are well over 1 million people who are going on what they are describing as short-term mission trips every single year. And this number appears to be growing, and the number of people going on multiple trips also appears to be growing. That does not even include the number of people who are going on mission trips that stay within the bounds of North America. I'm not sure anyone is really keeping track of those numbers, although I may be wrong about that. So in light of the newness of this, again, this is something that really did not get up and really start flourishing until the very early 90s. The newness of this, the large numbers of people who are involved in this movement, as well as the large amounts of money that is being spent on short-term mission trips, are all reasons to study this phenomenon a little bit more carefully. The second thing I want to stress is that it's important to recognize that short-term mission trips are neither all bad nor all good, and that the diversity of short-term mission trips makes it difficult to generalize, even though one of the things I'll be doing in the course of this week is, especially in that handout that I've crafted, is that you'll be looking at the generalizations that social scientists have made as they're trying to assess the short-term mission movement. So be mindful that there are exceptions to many of these rules, and your experience may or not cohere with what some of the social scientists are finding who are studying carefully the short-term mission trip, just the short-term mission trip phenomenon just in the last 15 years. The third thing is that short-term mission is like almost nothing else we talk about in this course, is something that where wealth inequities really are brought into very stark relief. not only with regard to the wealth inequities between the West and the global South, where many short-term mission trips are going, but also in terms of the wealth inequities of congregations here in the United States. If you are coming out of a congregation that was more, that was not as wealthy, was poor or very poor, chances are pretty good that you did not hear much about short-term mission trips because of the struggles that people were having more close to home were so strong. By contrast, if you were involved in a congregation that was middle class or upper middle class, you probably at least heard people talk about and raised questions whether they should be involved in a short-term mission trip. So be patient with one another, listen to one another, and recognize the diversity of experience that is in our classroom as well as now in our online learning environment. What I most want to stress with regard to short-term mission trips, and with this I'll close, is that it is imperative to pay serious attention to cross-cultural understanding and to be aware that much damage can be done if there isn't a level of cross-cultural education about differences between cultures, between here in North America and wherever you might be going. Secondly, it's important to stress that congregations in a metro area like Philadelphia really need to take seriously the possibilities of working with a congregation comprised, at least somewhat, if not overwhelmingly so, of immigrants who are from the country where they may be visiting. There's a great opportunity here to learn a great deal about another culture even before you go, and the potential for maintaining some relationships is strong in that regard as well. I tried to do a little bit of this in my congregation where I was serving in Upper Darby. I worked at a congregation that was comprised primarily of Liberian immigrants who had immigrated to the States within the last 10 years or so. And I realized that within the United Methodist denomination alone, there were about a half a dozen, maybe a few more, congregations who were going to West Africa every year or once every few years. And I thought, well, and one of the ideas that I had was that this would be a bit of a fundraiser for this struggling congregation in Upper Darby to prepare a wonderful meal of Liberian food and to teach just a few aspects about that other culture. Well, this didn't work. It's one of my failures in ministry, and I thought, but I still think it was a great idea, and I invite you to think about that idea as well, to develop relationships here with congregations prior to going on a short-term mission trips. And those of you who are coming from majority immigrant congregations might think about how you might be able to reach out to congregations who are doing these short-term mission trips as well. Finally, I wanted to just give a word about the upcoming Orlando Costas lecture that will be happening next Friday at the Esperanza College in Philadelphia. Please do attend. There will be extra credit for this. It is the person who teaches at Perkins School of Theology. You'll view in a video, a 10-minute video clip from YouTube, who also led Perkins School of Theology students on a short-term mission trip. He is going to be the lecturer at that Costas consultation, and his name is Carlos Cardozo Orlandi. And you already have seen this book that I passed around in class earlier this month. Enjoy learning a bit about short-term mission trips, and I will be eager to see your responses online. Take care.